Simon.
Mickey, hi, how are you?
You're welcome to our news corner here at the SAOUG conference.
Thank you.
How has the conference been so far for you?
Yeah, very interesting. I've listened to a few of the talks. Mostly been in the exhibition hall here trying to meet people, understand
Right.
what they're doing and look how we can help them. But
Right.
yeah, it's been a good experience.
Amazing. So you can briefly introduce yourself and your company to our audience.
Sure. My name's Simon Shaw. I'm from Blue Turtle Technologies. We're the representatives of Flexera in the country, and they asked us to represent them here at the conference. Flexera is a software asset management or IT asset management tool, and it helps people to optimize, control, and manage their environments. Blue Turtle, we're a service provider. We support the technology here, we do the implementations, and we help people get the best out of the technology that they purchase. So that's who we are.
Amazing. And one of the recurring themes throughout this conference has been around human-centric AI. What are your thoughts around that, and how do you make sure that we humanize AI, as is the buzzword for today?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting concept just in IT in general. I mean, independent of the tooling we have and what we do as a business.
Right.
People talk about human in the loop the whole time. The talk up until now has been how do we keep humans out of things, because we want to make sure we reduce errors and make things, I suppose, more efficient.
Right.
But I'm not sure you can take the human element completely out of it.
That's actually good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need people who think in a three-dimensional way, which AI does not.
Right.
It's a bits and a bytes. It gets an input and it has an output. It can't consider a lot of different factors. It just can consider bunches of information at the same time. Now, the way that it processes that information is in a linear fashion, whereas I suppose the human brain is an amazing thing and can do it in a different way. So yeah, I'm not sure we're ever going to completely get rid of the human in the loop, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
And I love that when it comes from someone in the technology space and the software space like yourself, it's actually comforting or such a relief for someone like me to hear, because somehow the marketing seems to be around, oh, we're going to reduce human errors or take humans out of the loop. This agent can do everything. You don't need a human, and that sounds scary to me. I'm like, really? So when I get to talk to someone like you who is within that space, and it's like, I don't see humans completely being removed from the loop. That's comforting. That's good news for me, because I believe that we need humans to oversee what AI is doing. Because again, when we speak of human error, which is one of the selling points for many of the software companies, to remove human errors, but there's also something with AI called hallucination, right? Which is a technical term for error, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
So error happens on both sides. AI can make errors and humans can make errors. So I think it's more of a collaborative effort rather than completely AI or completely humans. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. I think a lot of what we do in terms of the, Flexera and the software that we use, AI has a place, but it cannot remove the thought process that a human has around how they interpret the data,
Right.
and ultimately from a compliance audit perspective, which is, a key in the license world, how do you interpret that? Because when you have to go and have a contract negotiation, that's not a computer or an AI bot having a contract negotiation. It's human to human.
Absolutely.
It's at a commercial, legal type level, and you need to understand, what it is you're actually working with and how it works to optimize it for your own benefit, from an organizational point of view. Yeah.
Right. So as you're within this space, have you come across certain organizations that are still resistant to this change and they prefer the traditional way of doing things? Or do you think everyone is on board?
I think forward-looking businesses who need to innovate to be competitive have to engage in some or other form. I mean, you made a point just now about that are we being replaced? I think the necessity drives innovation. So yes, AI can do basic stuff, and actually more than basic stuff. Let's be honest, it can do some very clever stuff, and it can translate and assess data in speeds that we cannot humanly do. But once you have that output, what do you do with it again, like you just mentioned?
Exactly.
So I think that the opportunity is for the people that are working with AI technology specifically to evolve their thinking, for workers in businesses to embrace what it is and through that become more productive themselves. And I know that sometimes these are controversial things to talk about because is AI going to replace my job?
Right.
Well, if I embrace AI and use it and understand how it works and what it means to me, it won't replace my job. If I'm not going to do that, then it will replace my job. So, I suppose it's incumbent on us as the, let's call it, higher beings to develop ourselves further.
Right. One of the things I think about these new tools in the market also is I wonder if it kind of serves big enterprises and small businesses are kind of left behind, maybe due to the cost barrier. But what does the statistics say from your perspective?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the stats and the measurement of that stuff says, but I think it's the other way around. Because the using tooling, the groks and the bots of the world in the search engines and I don't know I can't remember what all the different ones are called, but
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, all those kind of things. When you are an individual or a small business, you can be hugely dynamic and speed up very, very quickly. Big organizations are struggling to adopt at that same rate because of the fact that they are big. They've got process, they've got people they have to engage with. They have different levels of compliance. I mean, one of the big things we hear, especially in the banking industry, is, when we're using a ChatGPT or a Grok, where are we getting our data from? We can't allow, the benefit of those engines is that they learn from a global audience. But if you're trying to do it at an organizational level and you've got compliance and all manner of security concerns, your pool of data becomes much smaller because you do it internally, but then what are you benefiting from? You can't benefit from the wider world. So they've got they found ways of getting around it, large language models and all those and learning and all that kind of stuff, but it is a very complex environment. So interesting point, I would say as a small business, you're probably much more able to take advantage of the technology than you are as a bigger business. I suppose they have the money to spend on lots of research and all that kind of stuff, and that's different. But if you're starting a business today, I don't think there's a better time in history with all the aid and help that you can get to do whatever it is you want to do.
Right. Wow, that's actually a very good angle to look at it, because the smaller they are, the easier the adoption it is for them, right? But also on the other hand, I'm just thinking in terms of some of the big models. Let's keep ChatGPT aside. Let's keep Grok aside. Those are the democratized models that are available for everyone.
Yes.
But then the big guys, the big tools that do big things, I think there is a cost to that, where I wonder if small businesses are able to afford those, or they're stuck with the free version of ChatGPT, or at least the $20 version of it.
It's interesting. I'm guessing we're at it's the user conference, I'll say it, but if you're an Oracle or a Microsoft or a big business, you probably would like everyone to believe that by paying you're getting more. In the democratized world of AI engines and open source, I'm not sure that exists anymore. Just my opinion. And I'm guessing if the big boss of Oracle was sitting here, or the big boss of Microsoft, they would have many arguments the other way around. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your opinions with us. Is there one last thought you want to share with us around AI, maybe in general, or maybe around your business?
Look, from my perspective, we have to embrace it. It's here to stay. The level at which people are going to adopt it and use it is going to determine how they develop their businesses and how they get benefit. But at an individual level, I mean, I've got an iPhone and I ask it some questions and it says some clever stuff. But I do think it's becoming, especially for the younger kids, for the new generations, they are able to do things in a way that we were never able to, just by talking to their phone, right? And I think that is there's a lot of benefit to that. So generally a good thing. Let me just say that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Simon. I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.